Hey there, thanks for tuning in to another exciting episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor, thanks for checking me out. I'm going to go back to today talking about a Mandela Effect, and I think you'll find this horrifyingly interesting. I talked about, and this does fit in with other videos that I've talked about Mandela effects before, about movies becoming real life. One was Game of Thrones with all those things. I brought up, I believe, the dragons and how dragons seem to be real with those lizards that rib cages turned into wings, and they were gliding and all that. I also talked about dire wolves. Now, I did not talk about the new cloned dire wolves, and how interesting that is that they created two dire wolves. I believe it was, their names are Romulus and Remus. Interestingly enough, and I'll get to why that's so interesting. And those dire wolves are real dire wolves that they basically cloned, and you look it up yourself. It's very interesting. People say they're not really dire wolves because they used genetic material of a wolf and they just modified it. Yeah, modified it to 99.9% of what a dire wolf was. Okay, with the CRISPR editing gene. So is it really a dire wolf? Well, are we really ourselves? It's an interesting question. Anyway, I digress, but that gives you interesting background. So, horror. I have some children. They went to see this Final Destination movie, a horror movie. The other day, they didn't really like it because it was scary. A lot of things are scary in the world. Well, this Mandela Effect is a horror, scary one, and get ready, right? And this is for entertainment purposes only, of course. So here we go. So the Romulus was the new Aliens movie that came out, right? So that movie was scary. I saw it. I don't like to see too many scary movies, horror movies, but I'm a sci-fi fan, and you know what? That checked off all the boxes, and it was scary. Okay, and the premise, if you don't know, is that there's an alien that basically, it takes its tail kind of thing, or proboscis or whatever, and it injects people, and they end up being what's the word? They end up being injected with the seed, the baby, and it grows and it bursts out of their chest. It's really horrific. And so this video, is about that. So what is the closest that you could say in nature would be to the alien? And I would say, the wasp or praying mantis. They look very similar. Praying mantis really more, but the wasp is a close second to what the alien, that aliens one is, the xenomorph. I got the word right. So that xenomorph is like a praying mantis, really. It looks like it, or a wasp kind of insect. So the new Mandela Effect is now wasps are like aliens, and I'll illustrate why. So the wasp, there's this one now called the jeweled wasp. So this jeweled wasp flies around and selects its victim, which is a cockroach. Some people don't feel pity for a cockroach. They've been bred to hate cockroaches, I understand. But poor cockroach in the story. So the wasp lands on the cockroach, okay, and it does a sting to incapacitate the cockroach to start, okay. Then it takes out this stinger again, and it injects it into what we would call the ganglia, the brain of the cockroach. It uses this stinger, and it now that the cockroach is incapacitated, did I say that right? It takes the stinger, and it finds the exact point where it gets beside where it's like the blood-brain barrier, and injects it into the cockroach's brain, okay? So, and then it takes its egg sac and puts it into the cockroach's body. This is really graphic. And then it flies away to look for a burrow. It gives it about half an hour. Now the cockroach, okay, it starts to like clean itself. It's like, what the heck happened? What? And it releases dopamine, which is a horror beyond horror. So I didn't know that insects release dopamine, or maybe they didn't before. I don't really know, but I can tell you that was like, it's part of it. Imagine a cockroach dimly aware that it knows what's going on, but dimly excited about it. It's horrific upon. Wow. So it's like, yay, I'm being killed. So the venom does a lot of stuff to it. It slows down its metabolism. So the cockroach, the wasp comes back after finding the burrow, and it snaps off one of its antennas and drinks its blood like as a toast. It's really, really strange, okay? This is really weird. And then it grabs the antenna and it drags it back to this burrow, and it leaves it in there, and then the cockroach's metabolism is slowed down, okay? So then it bursts out this egg sac like in Aliens. It bursts out, and then it finally kills the cockroaches. But meanwhile, its brain has been changed, and it's a zombie. So it's a zombie cockroach. And then the life cycle repeats. So it's really strange. And for those of you that see Mandela Effects, we talked about before about these zombie Mandela Effects, okay? Well, this is the ultimate zombie Mandela Effect, okay? There was one before about the fungus, okay? And they discovered other funguses. But this is it. This is it. Wow. So it's just like in Aliens. Like, man, you just need the soundtrack to go along with watching this in a video, and this would be really horrific. Wow. Imagine the Aliens kind of soundtrack, and then you're watching this poor cockroach get oh man. So anyway, this is a Mandela Effect, okay? To me, and people want to argue about it. So, like, I think there's different levels of awareness and that people can have, and this would be, to me, the highest level is the level of creation. Okay, God is the God of creation if you read the Bible, and that's basically it. God is the God of creation, and now we're seeing creation in real time of these things happening in our reality. So this Mandela Effect is pretty mind-blowing, where you see this change, and in Scientific America, the article came out in 2017, which does dovetail into the other Mandela effects that go back in time, and it's within the time period after 2015, 2012 really for a lot of stuff, but 2015 when these kind of things kind of populated into our timeline. This is a major change, and it's an interesting one from a movie standpoint. Like, you know, for that to happen is wow. So this to me is a wow, and I'm not sure what to call this video, but it is a horror-filled ensemble of different Mandela effects that all fit together about this new wasp that I wasn't aware of, and that the cockroach is now this victim, and you're not supposed to basically, I guess, feel sorry for a cockroach because they're cockroaches. But the whole thing is fascinating, and if you're embedded in this reality in such a way that you don't see Mandela effects and none of this, and you just think this is all silly, and of course wasps always were able to land on cockroaches and inject them with venom and take over their brains and lay their eggs inside them, and they burst out of them, just like in the movie Aliens. Of course, that always happened. Then this doesn't make sense to you. For everyone else that knew what was going on before, this is quite a change and quite a stir, and it's very interesting. And I would say if God is the God of creation, then acknowledging these things is a form of worship. So that is very interesting, and that what I just said should be pondered upon. Let's all ponder that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. Have a great day. All right, bye-bye.